Hey everybody, so camera is finally fixed. So just showed up about less than an hour ago from FedEx, and I didn't have a lot of time. I work at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I start at 4. I'm up by 2 o'clock in the morning usually, so didn't have a lot of time to spare today to get out for a hike. So I thought I would do a little something for Halloween. Well, and here I am at the Easton Cemetery. 7th Street entrance for anybody that ever wants to come visit this wonderful cemetery. So I thought this would be an interesting place to celebrate, put up a quick video. Without having time to get out hiking, I thought this would be a great place to come out for a walk in celebration of Halloween. So like I said, we're here at the 7th Street entrance. And we've got a little memorial here, a historical piece of interest. Who was the first one buried here. This cemetery is about 90 acres or so, with about 190,000 residents. Although it wasn't built or put together until the 1880s, a lot of the bodies here were moved from other places around Easton, so they are much, much older than what this cemetery actually is. So without further ado, we'll take a walk. Guys, when I get to the first grave mark, important ones, we will, I'll be sure to turn the camera back on. There's one or two in here that are absolutely fascinating, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. Guys, I'm glad you made it. Happy Halloween. And without further ado, away we go. All right, so here we go. We got a couple of, you can see here, Samuel Brown here, passed away October of 1831. That's about 50 years before this cemetery was even put in. But we are coming up to a couple of my favorite grave markers here. This one over here was particularly sweet. This is Lucy Barnett, and it's a bit of a local haunt. Lucy passed away right before, a couple of months before her second birthday. And what makes this so sweet was for about 50 years or so, all these little toys and trinkets and books and things were showing up on her grave marker. And it was over 50 years that people couldn't figure out in the cemetery who was leaving them. Really quite sweet, quite creepy and sweet all at the same time. They'd installed some cameras, and they'd put in some security guards to try and figure out who it was. You can see here she passed away in 1853. But all these little toys here, nobody could figure out who was actually leaving it. I don't think it's still been figured out as far as I know. And on the back of that, this here is her brother William, who was lost at sea in 1948. Pretty rough. So that's amazing. And then we're going to take a little walk here right across this little road here, I guess. This chapel. And I believe, if I remember right, this white memorial here, this big one, looks like a falcon on top. Yeah, this is the one. This is George Taylor. He was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. He passed away in 1780. Looks like 1781, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there's definitely some pretty cool historical markers in here, and we're here to visit, paying a little bit of respect. All right, I'll talk to you guys a little further down. All right, so we have another one here, soldier of the War of 1812. Pretty amazing. I can't really read the death date on there. May 4th. Tell you, I can't read it. Born May 3rd of 1799 and died. I can't read the death date on there, but pretty amazing. Way back there in the background, we'll make our way over there eventually. Is an old mausoleum. Might be getting picked up on camera. I'm not really sure. There's a few mausoleums in here, but that's one of the larger ones. Very, very old. We'll get there. All right, guys. I'm gonna keep walking. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. So we got one of the smaller mausoleums here. Kunzman is the name on it. Looks like it's pretty old itself, and it looks like the doorway here was repaired at one point, or at least blocked up. It says it's a historic point of interest. I don't know what the history was behind this one. If I can find it online later, I'll Google the hell out of it, and I'll be sure to kind of put something up here. Got an interesting grave marker. I think I'm going to take a little walk over and see if I can see what this is all about over here. I think at one point the cemetery had people buried from almost every American war. I'm not sure about our newer ones or newish ones. I know that everything, Revolutionary War, Civil War, War of 1812. I'm not sure about like Iraq and that kind of those more recent ones. But all right, here we go. Pretty interesting. Interesting grave marker. They don't make them like this anymore, that's for sure. All right, pretty cool. I'm going to start making my way over to that mausoleum. I should be able to start picking it up on camera if you haven't been able to already. It's a reasonably big one, but it's pretty old. We're going to go check that out. All right, so we're just about there. It's pretty. It amazes me some that some of these grave markers in here are, a couple of them are over 200 years old, coming up on 250 years old, and that they're still pretty well kept. I mean, there's a couple of them in here that I can't read. I can't read anymore. You can see them here. I mean, they would really, it needs a little bit of work, but I mean, there's still. Here's probably get some of this one. A couple of people buried in here, but for the most part, these are very well kept. Yeah, most of these are well over 100 years old. But generally speaking, most of these graves in here are pretty well taken care of. You know, some of the ones that are our age and you can't read anymore are just so old. I'm sure that a lot of them have been forgotten about. There's definitely a lesson in life about that, I suppose. All right, we got a couple of them in here. Pretty interesting. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video that this cemetery wasn't built until the late 1880s. I think 1888 was when the first residents were placed in this cemetery, and a lot of the ones that are here that are older than that were moved here. I know the Easton Library, which is only, I don't know, 2 blocks over, has a mass grave in it. That was the library was built in 1903 with it was built on an old cemetery, and there's a they say that the library is haunted because there's a mass grave in there. It's a grave, it's a big old vault with about 30 bodies in it, apparently, that were well, they couldn't be identified. Nobody claimed them. They didn't know what to do with them. And they're basically right next to the parking lot in the Easton Library now. And then one of Easton's original surveyors is right at the front door. So he was in large part responsible for how the town is laid out, surveying the town back in the 1700s. Pretty cool, I guess. But it looks like we're about here. I know there's no getting into this thing. Easton Memorial. So we're going to check this out anyways. We're not going to be able to get into it. don't remember what year this was built. Let's see if it's written here on one of these cornerstones. I don't see it yet. Might be able to see a little bit in here. Actually, I see a little bit of, not sure my camera's going to pick this up or not. See a little bit of scaffolding in there. I can see some stained glass near the back. So it is being worked on somehow. So if I happen to see a cornerstone in here with a date on it, I'll be sure to put it onto the video here somewhere. It is one of the cemetery's historic points of interest. All right, guys, I'm going to keep going a little bit. This covers a lot of the old stuff here. There's a couple of other grave sites that I want to visit. The major college here in Easton is Lafayette College, which, well, it's right up on the top of that hill across the way down there. I think there's still a little bit too much foliage left on the trees to be able to see it from here. I know the original founder of Lafayette College is in here somewhere. The grave marker that I liked a lot was the first black student who graduated Lafayette College. He used to set an alarm for the campus. Every morning he would wake up and play his trumpet to get the campus up and ready for classes every morning. So if I can find his spot, he's got a little trumpet player on the top of his marker, which I thought was pretty awesome. First president of Lafayette is buried here. Freddie is buried here, who was the original caretaker of the Easton State Theater. They say Freddie still roams around the theater, checking out stuff. Pretty sure you can't get into the State Theater just looking at just to look for Freddie necessarily, but I have been there for a couple of shows, and it's pretty old and pretty cool. It's a great little theater. Seats are a little cramped, or maybe I'm just a big guy, I don't know. But yeah, a little bit of history here about some of Easton's haunts, a little bit in Easton itself. All right, guys, I'm going to shut the camera off for a minute or two, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Oh, here it is. I found it. Aaron Ogden Huff, 1808 to 1902, almost 100 years old. See the little trumpet player here? A lot of these graves here have these little scan things here to be able to get some more of the history. And there it is. Okay. This day, May 5th, 2002, we proudly mark, after 100 years, the resting place of the first black student to attend our beloved Lafayette College. And we've come a long way since then. I don't know that we're where we want to be yet, but we've definitely come a long ways. May 9th, 1832, sounded his trumpet to officially open Lafayette College, summoning the first 43 students and 3 teachers. Pretty cool. All right. Yeah, nice little piece of history here. So this lower section down here, I don't think I'm going to go down. This is all newer stuff. The sound of traffic you're hearing is Route 22. That was right around there was what we call Cemetery Curve, because of this cemetery. It kind of loops around it here. There's a lot of military and a lot of more newer stuff buried down here. And a couple other people walking around here, which is kind of nice to see. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. If I see anything in here that looks like it's notable, I will definitely put it on camera. Yeah, if you like this sort of thing, definitely pretty amazing. You could spend definitely a few hours in here. I know when my daughter was younger, we used to do a lot of geocaching, my daughter and I. And there was a multi-geocache in here, which meant it came in stages. You had to find the first cache to find the next one, and find that one to find the one after. And it was a bit of a historical tour of the cemetery, so that was kind of fun. And that was our little introduction to this cemetery. All right, guys, I'll pick this back up here in a few minutes. All right, another one of historical note. Charles Wyckoff, Colonel, 22nd Regiment of Infantry in the U.S. Army, killed in battle before Santiago de Cuba during the assault on San Juan Hill. 1st Division, 5th Army Corps, July 1st, 1898. Pretty cool little belt and sword there. If you guys ever come here and you're interested, there's a little Scan Me historical thing here. And what looks like is probably his wife is here as well, Susan Wyckoff. I'll follow some of this stuff here. All right, I'm gonna see what else I can find here to record. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. So there are a few recent ones in here. There's one here. It looks like Samuel passed away in 2016. Constance in 2021. So pretty recent in comparison to a lot of the other markers in here, at least. And I see a few blank ones in here, which means, well, it's reserved. Like. Looks like over here, perhaps. Well, maybe not. I'm not sure who the other one. Looks like Doris. Yeah, there's another side there. Maybe it's reserved for somebody. I'm not quite sure, but William was a World War II veteran. I wasn't going to originally head down this far, but, well, here I am, so I'm not really sure if it's coming up on camera or not, but right down below here is Route 22, one of the major highways that heads from, well, yeah, Pennsylvania into New Jersey. If you follow it down, you'll hit the toll. There's a toll coming into Pennsylvania, not into New Jersey. But if you took a walk down there through the cemetery here, if you took a walk down there, there's a little tunnel type of thing that kind of takes you underneath Route 22 and onto the Carl Steiner Arts Trail, which is a nice, easy walk. Pretty interesting little arts trail. Nothing in it has changed over the last couple of years. It seems like I walk that trail once a year or so, just to kind of see if there's anything new on it. Hasn't been anything, but you could, if you're walking the Carl Steiner Trail, you could definitely make your way here in the cemetery. This is definitely the newer section here. I see a lot of fresh American flags, some fresh flowers down there. The flags, of course, representing our military. I know they had a little memorial up here for some military guys, but I, for whatever reason or another, haven't been able to find it. I know it's in here, but oh well. I got a soft spot for our military, so I definitely like to pay my respects where I can. All right, guys, but I'm going to start making my way out of here. Like I said, I've been at work since 4 o'clock this morning. I don't even know what time it is now. I think it's about time I start wrapping up. Seems as though the camera is holding up fairly well, and so I'll be able to take it up this weekend. I'll be up at Hawk Mountain on Saturday for their Eagle Day, which ought to be pretty interesting. I'll before I get out of here, I'll definitely put up a little thing about what the plans are for this weekend. I'm hoping it's going to be a really, really good video. Taking up the camera, I've got some interviews to do. I think Darcy from Darcy's Hiking Diaries is going to join me for a spell, so it should be pretty interesting. So I'll be seeing you guys as I make my way out of here. I'll talk to you soon. All right, looks like I'm nearing the end here. That's about all I'm doing today. Happy Halloween, everybody. So the camera's working, hasn't died on me, so I am happy about that. So this weekend's project is I'll be up at Hawk Mountain on Saturday. They're having an Eagle Day on Saturday, so they're going to have a golden eagle, a bald eagle, and out there, and with some talks, some educational talks and presentations. Of all the Hawk, I used to be a volunteer at Hawk Mountain. I've seen a handful of videos of Hawk Mountain, YouTube videos, and some of them were very good. And but they really just included the hikes. And people that did the hike said this is Hawk Mountain. It's a raptor sanctuary, but not that it's a bad thing. But Hawk Mountain is also one of the better environmental educational places in the Northeast, and they're in a bit of a unique spot in regards to it's right where the Kittatinny and Blue Mountain ridges kind of connect. So they're in this unique position where they have sister groups in Mexico and South America where they follow the migration patterns of raptors, and has really a global outreach, and they're putting some good attempts in to educate the general public, and I absolutely love the place. It's one of my favorites, and thought that of all the YouTube videos I've seen so far, none of them really included anything but the hiking, and I would like to kind of make sure that they that the things that have Hawk Mountain that they do so well kind of get brought up. So I'll be seeing you guys out there at Hawk Mountain over the weekend. It's probably going to be a 2-day trip for me, Eagle Day. I got some friends from work coming to hike with me. I'm going to take them up on the hike. And I got a couple interviews scheduled with the biologists and a couple of interns and that kind of thing. So I'll give you guys a bit of a better description when I get out there. So guys, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here with me. Happy Halloween. I'll be talking to you guys soon.